let's try the same kind of strategy we did before and see how it fares against a question like this, okay? The first thing we tried was to collect like terms, right? And we didn't just collect them anywhere. We wanted to collect the letters, the pronumerals. We wanted to collect them on the left-hand side, okay? So that means you got to get rid of them all off the right-hand side. Now before I took away 5x, obviously taking away 5x here is not going to be very helpful because there are no x's anyway. But also, there aren't 5 of them. There are 9 of them, right? So on this side, I'm going to say 9r minus 3 minus 9r. I'm going to get rid of all of the r's on this side. If I take away 9r from one side, I've got to take away from the other. Okay, so this is what I've got, okay? Now, so far, so good. This looks a lot like this line, but then what unfolds is a little bit different. Watch. Okay. Let's have a look at what happens here. I'm going to collect like terms. I've got r's here. I'll circle them so that it's clear. I've got 3r here, but I've got, watch for the sign, I've got minus 9r there, right? So I have to take away 9. You don't add them, right? So what's 3 minus 9?
6.
3 minus 9 is, here's my number line, there's 0.
6. Minus 6.
Yeah, it's going to go, minus 9 is going to go way past 0, over to minus 6. Negative 6, I should say. So, there you go. That's how many r's I have on that side, which is slightly weird, but that's what happened. What happens to that plus 13?
It goes...
It just stays there. We haven't done anything to it. There are no terms to collect on that side.
Equals minus.
Over here, the r's all disappeared. That's why I subtracted 9r, wasn't it? So all I get is negative 3. Alright, now, we're getting there.
I did it a different way.
That's okay. There are lots of different ways, but remember, some ways are better than others, aren't they? We'll have a look at it in a second. Now, at this point, what do? Well, I want to simplify, don't I? Okay, in a similar way as I did in the previous step, I want to get all these 13s out of the way, right? So I'm going to put that over to the other side.
Minus 13.
So I'm going to minus 13 from both sides. And that's what I get there. Okay. So over the left-hand side, the 13 disappears. The plus and the minus cancel out. Minus 3, minus 13. That's negative 16, isn't it? Yeah. Like you got your 0, there's negative 3. You go even further that way. Okay, so that's why negative 16. Okay, now, at this point, on our previous question, we were finished. But we're not finished yet, are we? Okay, what do I have to do to this thing? I just want the r by itself, right?
Minus.
This here, minus 6r. It's really shorthand for minus 6 times r, isn't it? Right? So being that it's multiplication, I want to undo that, right? So how do I undo multiplication? Division, right?
Yes.
Good. So I have to divide, I've got to divide by whatever I'm multiplying by. That's negative 6, right? So if I divide the left-hand side by negative 6, I'm going to divide the right-hand side by negative 6, okay? What's going to happen on the left-hand side? The negative 6's will cancel. Just get r on its own. That's good. What happens over here?
Does it go to a positive?
Okay, so the negatives, right? The negatives are going to cancel, right? So I'm not going to have a, the negative is going to disappear. So then I have 16 over 6. Can I simplify that?
Yes.
I can, right? What should I divide through by?
4.
I can divide this by 4, but not this one. I think it's just 2. I think it's just 2. 8 over 3. I suppose if we wanted to, we could turn that into a mixed numeral, which I think is 2 2/3. Okay. So you can, yeah, that's fine. So what happened? This is, you see what I mean by, is it a one-step equation or a two-step equation? It's a lots of steps equation, right? And in the same way, like some of these steps I could have done quicker, right? See how I moved all the r's over this side, and then I moved all the numbers over this side. You can sort of do them both at once if you feel confident. It's much faster, right? But we've done it out, we've showed all of the steps, and that's where our answer is, okay? Just like before, I won't do it this time, but just like before, you can stick this back in the first line, and it'll work, okay? So we still did the collecting like terms, we did a bit of simplifying. We had to do extra simplifying because the numbers they gave us were a bit gross, but we still got out the answer in just the same way.
Explain on my paper, I don't know what to do.
The acid test is, can you explain it to someone else?
Go up and draw it.
No. I got. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm gonna